What's up everybody, it's me Lone. I hope you're doing alright. I want to make this video as a bit of a PSA because there is something brewing in the Fallout 4 modding scene right now that, to be honest, is getting a bit messy. So I'm hoping this video helps lay the facts out clearly and fairly for you so you know what's going on. But importantly, I'm also hoping this video actually helps people that are encountering the very issue at the heart of this particular controversy. So what am I talking about? Well, as many of you would know, one of the most popular and most essential mods for Fallout 4 is the Fallout 4 unofficial patch. The amount of times I've installed this mod is pretty much equal to the amount of times I've installed Fallout 4 on my PC. It provides so many bloody bug fixes. It fixes so many other issues in Fallout 4 that I've long argued it's a must install for the game. Whether you're doing a heavily modded playthrough or a lightly modded playthrough, heck, even a vanilla playthrough, you should still be installing this mod for the game. At least that's what I've been saying for a very long time. However, it seems that after the controversial Fallout 4 Next Gen update, in fact, after the two controversial Fallout 4 Next Gen updates, it seems that the Fallout 4 unofficial patch has been having issues of its own, in particular when it comes to stuttering and frame rate drops. So I wasn't aware of this issue until I read an article on Windows Central. That is linked in the description below, but this article directed me to a couple of Reddit posts that I want to read to you now that highlight this potential issue. So first of all, there is a post from Puffin Nuffin on the Fallout modding Reddit, by the way, great username, and they said the following, quote, "Hello everyone. TLDR, the unofficial Fallout 4 patch may be responsible for the majority of your freezing and frame rate drops if you're doing a modded playthrough and having issues after installing the Next Gen update, both for Xbox and PC. I tested this rigorously as I'm aware that a lot of people are reporting stability and performance issues after the new update and will have this mod always installed by default. Decided to run only UOF4P and it was unfortunately causing problems for both platforms, specifically in the Next Gen update. Uninstalling doesn't necessarily mean it will work for you, as I can't speak for any mods I didn't test in isolation, nor will it eliminate crashing altogether, but it may help significantly with troubleshooting if you currently have it installed. Hope this helps." And then in response, there were several other users who also ran their own tests and also found similar results. So for instance, I'll pick this one from ProtoClown98 who said the following, quote, "I did this test as well and came to the same conclusion. Without the unofficial patch, I never experienced stuttering. With the unofficial patch, and only the unofficial patch, stuttering occurred. It's been posted by lots of users on the Nexus mod page, but Arthmore keeps taking it down. Hopefully the team is looking for a fix, but given it's Arthmore, my guess is he isn't." Now, trust me, we're going to touch on that controversy in a second. It's part of the issue here. But also, I want to highlight that other Reddit users also reported the same thing. For instance, Reddit user Lawthalon said the same thing by saying the only fix was uninstalling the unofficial patch. So then there is a video which was posted by Flatfreet on YouTube. I'll include the link in the description below, but I'll also include it on the screen right now. And this highlights the very issue that some people are encountering. You can see some clear hitching and stuttering in the game, especially for this user when they go past particular areas. Apparently, it's very reproducible at this point in Sanctuary and potentially some other areas as well. So Flatfreet actually reported this to the Nexus page for the Fallout 4 unofficial patch and included these YouTube links which seemingly reproduce the issue. Now, this exchange with the mod creator Arthmore is actually deleted. I don't know who deleted it. People are assuming that it was the mod creator himself because he has control over that Nexus mod page. But in the exchange with Arthmore, Arthmore seems to say that these issues with frames and frame rate drops are inherent to the Fallout 4 Next Gen update and not the mod itself. And to prove that, he links a video from Digital Foundry, which was captured on console, mind you, though that doesn't really matter because the issue is seemingly present on both console and PC. So this video from Digital Foundry is absolutely relevant here. But Arthmore linked this video from Digital Foundry because apparently in that video, they also encountered stuttering and frame rate drops and hitching without the Fallout 4 unofficial patch installed. So because of that, Arthmore is pretty much saying that it can't be the mod because they also encountered very similar issues. It has to be the Next Gen update. Now, in response to that, people have said that no, I still really think, or we still really think, that it's the Fallout 4 unofficial mod at play here and not the next gen update, because we tested it, we removed all other mods, and we tested it with and without the Fallout 4 unofficial patch installed, and we were able to reproduce or replicate the issue. And then that writer on Windows Central that I mentioned also seemed to replicate the issue. Again, the link is in the description below, but they said the following, quote, "For what it's worth, I loaded up a vanilla Fallout 4 save with nothing other than the UFO 4P mod installed to run a few quick tests, and found that I did come across a handful of fairly consistent hitches in denser parts of the map like Lexington and the downtown Boston area. These went away completely when I disabled the mod, so there definitely seems to be something specific to UFO 4P going on here. Notably, the stutters I encountered were rare and short, but your mileage may vary. It wouldn't surprise me if the problem is influenced by the combination of hardware in your system, especially since game performance issues tend to have inconsistent severity from player to player in general. I have an i5 12600K rig with an RTX 3070 and a Samsung 980 Pro SSD, while user Flatfleet, who seems to have a worse experience, said they play on a machine with an i9 13900K, an RTX 4090, and a Samsung 990 Pro SSD. Now, I've said this for a very long time. There are so many different permutations of PC hardware out there that you can encounter issues like this, where some people with one mod have all these bloody issues, and then other people don't have any issues whatsoever. You can have people with the exact same hardware, the exact same spec list, have completely different experiences when it comes to a game or a particular mod or a combination of the two, right? This happens all the time, which is why I am believing it. Now, if this issue stopped there, if it was just an issue with the mod, people were reporting it, and a mod author said, you know what, I recognize there's an issue, I've been able to reproduce it, we're going to fix it, we wouldn't be talking about it now. There wouldn't be articles written about it, there wouldn't be these kinds of Reddit posts about it, at least to that severity. However, unfortunately, the issue has not stopped there, so I want to try and cover this, as I mentioned, as fairly and as clearly as possible, but there was a Reddit post from a user called Lilytastic who said the following: unofficial Fallout 4 patch UFO 4P, mod publisher disables comments after shown video proof of issues since next gen patch, blames Reddit misinformation, and they included a couple of screenshots from the mod creator of the Fallout 4 unofficial patch, who goes by the name Arthmore. So this is what Arthmore said on the Nexus page for the mod, before deleting one of them. I believe the second one is still up, but the first one that I'm about to read, I believe, has since been deleted. So this is what he said. Quote, I kind of expected that people would ignore the only factually documented methodology for reproducing things and discount it out of hand. I have no idea what more you people want from us. You've been given the evidence that this is not a UFO 4P problem, but you'd rather take the word of Reddit nobodies over the word of a group who appears to have a solid reputation in program analysis. I give up trying to correct the record. Believe what you want, guys. And I think, as I mentioned, that post has been deleted, and then we come to the second one, which they included in the screenshot, which says from Arthmore, quote, I think it's fair to say our team needs a break from all the BS associated with bad information about the patch and its interaction with the next-gen update. So we'll be locking the comments for a while to give ourselves a break from it all. We're tired of trying to correct the record only to have, quote, but Reddit said so thrown back at us every goddamn time. Now, for posterity, I did go and check the Nexus page for the Fallout 4 unofficial patch, and at least at the time of this recording, it is true. Comments have been locked down on that page. You can't leave any comments on the thread, and that's obviously why people have been going to places like Reddit in order to not just post their concerns, but of course to post their own reports about this potential issue with the mod. So those are the facts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But now I want to get into my opinions and thoughts about this situation. I first want to say that I'm certainly not here to fan the flames of hatred by any means. That's not what I'm about on this channel. I'm here to report the news, talk about my opinions, and to help people, right? So that's not what I'm going to be doing in today's video. I'm also well aware that things in the Fallout 4 modding community are pretty tense right now, especially after the next-gen update and what it did to mods and people's save files and the script extender. Everybody is a little bit on edge, and I'm sure in part that is what is contributing to these kinds of heated exchanges on the Nexus pages and Reddit and elsewhere. It's what's contributing to issues with these mods in the first place, right? So everybody is a little bit tense right now, and I'm sure that's contributing to this whole controversy. At the same time, I'm also well aware that modding is incredibly hard work. I couldn't imagine trying to do that in the first place. And also as well, I couldn't imagine being seemingly bombarded by criticisms and people with issues when my mod that I've created has issues or has concerns, whether the mod doesn't work or it has issues with stuttering or frame rate drops, whatever it might be. I couldn't imagine being in that situation where I'm being bombarded, or at least feeling like I'm being bombarded by criticisms and issues and negativity and all that kind of stuff. I experienced that on YouTube to some extent, but probably not what certain people have been experiencing on the Nexus mod page after the 4.4 Next Gen update. So I think those two things are absolutely true. Now, I can understand in that kind of situation why some people feel like they need to resort to disabling comments, right? It's a form of protection for them. They don't want to see the negativity. They don't think it's constructive. So on their side, I can understand why they would do it. But from my experience as a YouTuber, as a community manager, as someone that's been doing this for a very long time, usually 99 times out of 100, disabling comments is not the right way to go. Locking threads isn't the right way to go. Usually, that just exacerbates the issue. Look at any time a thread on Twitter, for instance, is locked down. Look at the quote tweets. It always makes the problem 1,000 times worse. So usually, in most cases, it's not something that I would resort to. I usually don't think that it's productive. I understand why people would do it, but for me, it's not something that I would do. Even when I have a video that I know is copying flack on YouTube, I've never disabled comments on my YouTube videos because I just don't think it helps. I actually think it hinders the situation, especially when in cases like this, clearly not everybody is providing harassment. Now, of course, I can't speak to the specific ratio of those who did provide harassment to the mod team versus those who didn't when reporting issues, but at least from what I've seen publicly, a good number of those reporting issues with the mod did so in a kind manner, did so in a polite, respectful, and thoughtful way. So when you close down comment sections, when you shut down threads, what you're also doing is preventing those people from having the opportunity and the relevant forum to share legitimate issues they're having with your mod, whether it's about this particular stuttering issue or something else entirely. Now, talking about the test that I've ran for this particular issue, my results were definitely mixed, and I'm not saying this to suggest that people aren't encountering the issue, because I believe people that have this issue. If they're saying that I'm encountering stuttering in this exact spot, and then when I uninstall the mod, I'm not encountering stuttering, how do you not believe them in that situation? And as I mentioned before, people with the same build, even a high-end build, can encounter issues that you're not encountering with very similar specs. It happens all the time, so I 100% believe those people. All I can say is from my experience, I haven't been able to replicate the issue like others have been. When I had the mod installed, I had a vanilla installation of Fallout 4. I re-downloaded the latest version of the unofficial patch, and I did the same run that those previous users did to see if I could replicate these frame rate drops or these instances of hitching or stuttering, right? Now, I couldn't always replicate the results. I would say, as a whole, slightly, there are a couple of more hitches when the unofficial patch was installed, but it wasn't consistent. And I bet you if I did that run 100 or 1,000 times through, sometimes the issues would crop up and other times it wouldn't. And I can't definitively say it was because of the mod or the next gen update or just something else altogether, an issue with my PC or my SSD or whatever. I can't say for 100% sure that it was absolutely the mod like other people are able to say, because they're able to replicate the issue much more consistently than me. I am showing you instances on the screen where some hitching has been happening, but I can't tell you definitively that it was because of the mod. When I had the mod uninstalled, yes, there were less instances of severe hitching, but I'm telling you, brother, I've encountered hitching and frame rate drops with Fallout 4 with and without the unofficial Fallout 4 patch installed. So I can't tell you from my experiences whether this mod is actually causing the issue. All I can say is that there are people out there that do have these issues with stuttering and frame rate drops, and they're saying it's because of the mod. So the overall point of this video is if you are encountering stutters and frame rate drops and hitching in Fallout 4, and you happen to have the 4i4 unofficial patch installed, uninstall it. Try and see if that solves the issue. If it does, we've resolved your issue, that's great, and all you need to do is hopefully wait for an update or for a fix from Arthmore and the team on that Nexus mod page, because everyone will be happy after that. Your game will be running fine, no more stuttering, no more hitching or frame rate drops, and you're still able to enjoy the benefit of all those other bug fixes that the mod provides, because I still believe it's a very, very good and fundamentally important mod for 4i4. If you don't find that those issues are resolved after uninstalling the mod or the patch, then you know it's something else. Then you know it might just be the next gen update, or your PC, or another mod, or your SSD, or whatever it might be. At least you're able to narrow down the issue now, because you know some people out there are encountering stuttering because of this mod specifically. So this video is all about telling you, try it out. If it helps you, amazing. If it doesn't, at least you've narrowed it down, hopefully, to something else and to another issue. This was a very, very hard video to make, because I know there's history here, and I don't want to get into that. It's just a PSA. Hopefully this helps some of you out. But let me know in the comments below what you think about this situation. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.